This is our Player of the Week analysis.
Another chance for Katie Static. Poulter tries to go for the back corner, but Albright was there. And then Becky with another swing. Connor dives and puts it over. Rally will continue. Burks into the block. Roll shot from Jocelyn Burks. Becky tries to end the rally. Donnelly the dig. Again, Donnelly dives for that ball and keeps it in play. Longest rally we've seen so far. Hunter out to Becky. Static into the block. Play continues. Donnelly saves it. Will this rally end? Who's going to take it? Hunter the back set. Rolfson puts it over. Hunter goes for her own attack, but Burks was ready. Becky, big swing from her, but the Illini will have the point on the attack air.
Wow. Well, you don't see that very often. We're going to see a replay here. I'm not quite sure how much we're going to see because this was one of the longest rallies I think I've ever seen in volleyball, to be quite honest with you. Great defensive plays. You're seeing incredible stamina, nice grit, and then the hitting error. And you can see Nebraska's, one of Nebraska's players almost collapsed because she was so exhausted.
This outstanding rally had 60 to 70 contacts. We're going to analyze all the high-level decisions by our officials, as well as the rules involved. Our second line judge and our first referee are responsible for the server and the server's feet and a legal serve. The first referee is responsible for the serving team's alignment, while the second referee is responsible for the receiving team's alignment. The first referee also can be responsible for the receiving team's alignment as well. Let's remember that our first referee has every contact to weigh and judge. Our first and second referee have to know that this setter is going to be the front row setter. All officials on the floor have the attack. All officials have blocking action, touch or no touch. And our second referee will have blockers, net, and center line until the blockers transition away from the net. Both our R1 and our R2 have this setter who is our back row setter on this rally. All officials will have the attack, blocking action, touch or no touch off the blocks, and our second referee is primarily responsible for blockers, net, and center line. Our first and second referee are responsible for our front row setter, who performs a setter attack, which all officials are responsible for, as well as any blocking action, touch or no touch. And our second referee is responsible for blockers, net, and center line. Both the first and second referees are responsible for the back row setter. All officials are responsible for the attack, as well as blocking action, touch or no touch off the blocks. And our second referee is also responsible for blockers, net, and center line until blockers transition legally away from the net. All officials have this attack, even though it's a dig attack that can be gathered easily by our new offense. Once again, our first and second referee will be responsible for our back row setter, as well as the knowledge that this is a back row setter. All officials have the attack, any resulting blocking action, touch or no touch. Our second referee has blockers, net, and center line responsibilities. We have a non-setter setting the ball overhand. It is clean according to the first referee. All officials have the attack, blocking action, touch or no touches off the block. And our second referee is always responsible primarily for the blockers, net, and center line off the block. Our first and second referees are responsible for our front row setter. All officials are responsible for the attack, blocking action, and touch and no touch off the blocks. Second referee is responsible for blockers, net, and center line action. Now we're going to have this ball is set via a dig by our back row player. All officials are going to be responsible for this attack and any resulting blocking action coming off this attack, as well as touch or no touch action off the block. Our second referee, as usual, is responsible for blockers, net, and center line, resulting off blocks. Now we have a back row player who sets the ball overhand. All officials are responsible for the attack, as well as any blocking action and touch and no touch off the block. Our second referee stays with the blockers, net, and center line until the blockers transition away from the net safely and legally. Again, all officials have the attack. All officials have blocking action, touches and no touches off any blocking action. Our second referee has blockers, net, and center line until we have any net center line violations or all blockers transition away from the net safely without violation. First and second referee have the back row setter. All officials have this attack and any blocking action, touch or no touch, resulting off the block. Our second referee stays with the blockers, net, and center line until all blockers transition safely and legally away from the net. Our first and second referee have this front row setter, and the continued knowledge that this is a front row setter. We have a slide attack, which all officials are responsible for. Any resulting action off the block, touch or no touch. And our second referee is primarily responsible for blockers, net, and center line. We're going to have an out-of-system attack, which all officials are responsible for, as well as any blocking action, touches or no touches off the block. And our second referee again has the blockers, net, and center line. We have another out-of-system attack, which all officials are responsible for, as well as any blocking action, touch or no touch off the block. And our second referee has blockers, net, and center line. Again, we have attack with blocking action, touch or no touches off the block. Responsibility lies on all officials, and our second referee will be responsible for blockers, net, and center line action. Again, our first and second referee are responsible for our back row setter here. And now we're going to have an attack. And again, all officials are responsible for attacks, blocking action, and touches or no touches off the block. Second referee stays with the blockers until they transition away from the net and is responsible for the net and center line. All officials will be responsible for this pending attack, blocking action, and touches or no touches off the block. Second referee is responsible for blockers, net, and center line. First and second referee are responsible for this back row setter, who performs a set-over attack. It's legal according to the first referee. All officials are responsible for the blocking as well as that attack. Second referee is responsible for the net and center line. Once again, the first and second referee are responsible for the back row setter. All officials are responsible for this attack, blocking action, touch or no touch. And the second referee is again still responsible for blockers and net and center line off the blocking action. All officials, starting with the line judges for this particular rally, are responsible for in, out, or touch to end the rally. There were between 60 and 70 contacts in this outstanding rally. To appreciate what our officials do, let's base the rulings and judgments off officiating rules. This is Rule 8 to serve. Our R1 and R2 have to use this rule on every serve, primarily our first referee. Look how detailed and in-depth this particular rule is. Every rally starts with a serve. This rule must be processed. Rule 9, which is during play, starting with Section 3 and Section 4. Primarily, Section 4 is processed on every hit and every contact of the volleyball. Section 5 is processed on every contact and every hit on the volleyball, as well as the players who are contacting and hitting the volleyball. These are the processes and judgments that our first and second referee are making on each and every play. Our second referee is primarily responsible for net play, so our second referee is making these judgments on almost every attack of the volleyball. Outstanding work by our officiating crew.
This is our Player of the Week analysis.